Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here, and it's time for a review of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Mario, Luigi, and all their friends and foes have arrived on the big screen, thanks to Illumination Entertainment. It's gonna make $1.5 billion. They are gonna make 30 spin-offs and sequels of this, and they're gonna extend it to some streaming platform and have like a Luigi's Mansion show, but I'm just here to look at this one movie. I like the Mario games, alright? Ever since I started playing games, they've been Nintendo, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Bros. 3 on my little Game Boy, playing pretty much every Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and I still play Mario Kart. I got the DLC pack. It was only like 2 weeks ago. I was nailing that double gap cut on DK Summit. I had a kind of a low bar for this movie. I was like, if it's fun, if it gives me the references, if it's faithful enough, if the voice acting doesn't bother me, I will give this movie a thumbs up. That's basically what happened here. This movie met my expectations. For a movie that's introducing us to the cinematic Mario universe, you know, it covered a lot of different lands and a lot of different characters. I think it did a pretty decent job just setting everything up and being a pretty fun movie in its own right. The entire movie was like that Captain America meme. I understood that reference, and me being like secretly happy that I understood the references, even though it's just very low-hanging fruit for a movie like this to be like reference, and the audience is like, I understood that. Oh my god, that's from this. Oh my god, that's from the game. They were like obviously gonna do it. I think they did it in ways that I was fine with. They also do it with the musical cues all the time. I would say the score itself didn't really have that much personality, except for when it brings in some of the iconic melodies from the games. I would have preferred the score to have a little more personality, or maybe even to incorporate those little melodies more and not just have them be like, oh, we just threw that in there. Why not make the score of a whole scene one of the tracks from the game kind of cinematified? One of the most impressive things about this movie is actually the visuals. They almost border on looking like too realistic or like weirdly realistic. There were parts in the beginning where if you're not watching like Mario and Luigi's face and you're just watching like their clothes and their bodies move, it's almost like the uncanny valley. Like if you got high enough to this, it would be like a little like goofy guy on like a real little short body, and it, you know, might freak you out. But yeah, the environments and the lighting especially was really great, and I think they did a good job establishing a nice visual style for the rest of the movies to repeat. No complaints about any of the character designs. You know, the voice performances, one of the bigger concerns going into this for many. Chris Pratt, is he a good Mario? He's fine, that's the answer. You will not remember that he's Chris Pratt, and that's kind of the best compliment I could give it, is that you're not like, oh, this is just Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt's voice. Like, they went with the he's an Italian plumber from Brooklyn route, and it made sense for that. And it makes sense in a movie that you can't have Mario always be like, yahoo! Because then if there's an emotional moment where he's like, man, I really want to get my brother back, it'd be like, oh, I really miss my brother Luigi. It'd be crazy. And maybe there's a universe where somebody else voiced it and they give it a little bit more of a distinct personality, but I think this is fine. We can definitely work with this. The rest of the voice cast is also solid. Charlie Day is Luigi. Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong definitely sounds like Seth Rogen, and Donkey Kong's personality in this one is kind of like a cocky young guy, and it like worked for it. Even though it was very Seth Rogen, it worked. Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach. Some people are probably gonna be upset because Peach isn't a damsel. I've already seen some of those absolutely brain dead takes from people who literally have nothing else to add, cannot make a substantive comment on a movie if they tried, so they have to resort to like, is she a Mary Sue? I think Peach is a Mary Sue. Why is Peach good at anything? Why is she good at anything? It's a non-problem. If anybody has that opinion, disregard all of their opinions and just laugh at those opinions when they come, because they're coming and it's going to be hilarious. I'm getting my popcorn. Keegan-Michael Key actually did a great job as Toad. They definitely pitched his voice up, so he's not really recognizable, but I thought that was a surprisingly good choice. But the best choice here is Jack Black as Bowser, and the movie knows that they had like a gem when choosing Jack Black, because Bowser sings, and I'm not gonna say any more, but that was kind of the best part of the movie. And it was one of the few parts of the movie where it kind of did something I didn't expect. Like, I really really had fun with that character. The story is fine. It does what it needs to do to be an origin story where Mario starts out as a plumber and he's like, you know, kind of incompetent, and then he learns the ropes. He goes on an adventure. He meets characters. Many will be pleased. It doesn't go above and beyond. The humor is fine. The kids will like it. They'll be laughing. I didn't laugh that much, but there were chuckles. It is definitely designed for short attention spans, which I didn't always love because I did think that the movie felt like a blur sometimes. Walking home from the movie theater, I kind of realized, hey, I'm starting to forget this movie, which is what happens when there's very little distinct about it. The action sometimes has so much going on at once with like shells going this way and mushrooms coming out of here and Koopas and like spiky sometimes it's too much, and I actually would have liked the action to be a little more concise and be like, okay, Mario's hopping on this turtle, then he's got to go do this. And like, you can actually see the strategy playing out, but they really just kind of splattered like everything at the screen all the time, which was not my favorite approach. The lesson that Mario learns is like the default lesson you could have gone with in this story. Although I will compliment the movie in that I did feel the love between him and Luigi. The brotherly bond was there. There's an end credit scene, but it's unnecessary. It just reminds you of a character who wasn't in it and leaves it at that. It doesn't like reveal their voice and leave the audience guessing like, oh, who's that gonna be in the next? No, it's just like, remember how we didn't include this character? Thanks for watching. It's a competent movie made for a broad audience. It's gonna work for most people. I would not watch this again. I don't have a reason to want to see the next films that bad. I can think of no better rating for this movie than a 6 out of 10. Will this get nominated for animated feature? Some will ask, as I am the Oscar expert. Probably not. They don't nominate like the Minions movies or The Secret Life of Pets. If there are better movies out there for them to choose, they will choose them, and I think there will be this year. To name a few: the new Miyazaki movie, the new Spider-Verse movie, the new Chicken Run movie, Elemental, Wish, Nimona, Spellbound, The Peasants. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I don't think that they're going to have to nominate this movie. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Has it been your lifelong dream to become Mario?